Hey everyone, I wanted to check in midweek because something I think important is starting to arise around this point in the course. In week one, you learned how to recognize your survival patterns, right? Those protective reactions that show up when something vulnerable underneath gets touched. Then in week two, we practiced returning to safety in the body so you could stay present to sensation and emotion without immediately reacting or trying to escape it. And, when you start practicing that long enough, something interesting starts to happen. Once the nervous system settles just enough to stay present, we start to see things that were always there, but we didn't notice before. So, many of you may be realizing something that can feel both liberating and a little confronting, which is this. A lot of what we've taken to be me was actually inherited, right? Your body was inherited. It came through genetics. Your language came from the culture you were born into. Your beliefs form through family, school, friends, religion, and early life experiences. Even your emotional reactions were shaped by a nervous system that learned how to stay safe and connected in the environment that you grew up in. And when people start to see this clearly, they have a moment of realizing, wait a minute, a lot of the things that I thought were just who I am are actually adaptations. They're strategies your system learned in order to survive and belong. And it's really important. I want you to understand something. Those adaptations, they are not failures. They are brilliant. They were brilliant. Okay? They were the nervous system doing its best with the information it had at the time. But they are also not the deepest truth of who you are. This is where week 3 becomes really powerful. Because as you start loosening your identification with beliefs and stories, something else becomes noticeable. You can observe your beliefs, you can observe your emotions, you can observe the identity you've built around yourself, you can even observe the body. And when that becomes clear, a natural question arises. If you can observe all of those things, who is the one observing them? That part of you was never inherited from the world. That is awareness. Awareness didn't come from your parents. It didn't come from your culture. It didn't come from conditioning. It's the presence that entered the world and began having a human experience. And this is why we say the beliefs themselves are not the problem. The difficulty comes when we mistake those inherited patterns for who we are. When we believe they are us, we feel trapped inside them. But when awareness begins seeing them clearly, they naturally start to loosen, not through force, not through fighting them, but through understanding. And what often begins to happen at this point in the process is something really relieving. Instead of trying to perfect yourself, you begin recognizing the difference between what you inherited from the world and what you brought into the world. And as that distinction becomes clearer, something in the system often relaxes because you no longer have to search for yourself inside the conditioning. You begin remembering the part of you that was here before the conditioning formed. And from that place, something very interesting becomes possible. Awareness can begin updating the patterns without needing to fight them. So as you move through the rest of this week, you might simply start noticing what beliefs feel inherited, what identities feel like adaptations your system learned, right? The identities are created from the beliefs, right? And behaviors are created from those beliefs. And what happens when you observe them rather than trying to fix or change them? Okay, we're going to keep exploring this together as the week unfolds. That might be a lot for some of you. And so I'm going to also attach a 2 to 3 minute integration practice that you can do to just help you see those inherited layers, okay?